did Alice Walker do to black women to have black women do this to her work? Okay. So yeah, that's also been going on. So let's get in all of that being said. I just wanted to get all that off my chest. And let's get into this acceptance and how we accept this L that we must take and we must go with it. Also, in the description box will be the blog that I wrote in connection to this, where I talk about how we have to accept the unfathomable. And that's really what's happening. Black American women are forced to accept the unfathomable. This is crazy. This is crazy that this is how we exist. It is crazy that this is what we have to accept as a woman in a patriarchal society. Although we may be matriarchal women, we live in a patriarchal society. And to know and understand that this is how we existing is a hard fucking swallow. It's a hard fucking swallow for us. And I don't have, to be honest, I don't have all the answers. Is why I, of course, am creating this Patreon, and it's called A Soft Landing, because as we realize that this is something that we have to accept, like, I need to, like, take a deep breath. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to just relax for a minute and just have a soft landing somewhere where I can just be safe and just feel all the ways that I feel. And I think that all black women who are here have to have that space where we can all just, like, relax. I don't know, like, fix some mimosas and just feel how we feel. Because this is we have to accept the unacceptable. And the unacceptable is let me not say unacceptable, because we have to accept it. The unfathomable is being a woman alone in a patriarchal society. Like, what even is that? And what we have to know is, as matriarchal women, we've been here before. We have it in us to be who the fuck we are. And that is true matriarchal and matrilineal women. And I think that that's the difference in the mothers of daughters, or just the mothers of everybody, and the mothers of sons. The difference is both of those women who I said are big bitches, right? And I be one, right? They're both matriarchal, but they are not both matrilineal. And as for us who are matrilineal, here we are, a matriarchal and matrilineal woman living inside of a patriarchal society, and we have to accept it and live in it. And black women, that is just where we are. Like, I mean, that's just where we are. It's a hard thing to accept. It's a hard thing to accept that there are no males in this patriarchal society who is going to be supportive of us, that, that is of our own likeness, right? That we can maneuver and we can finagle and we can, figure out our ways through this patriarchal society and get some support and get some work and get some service out of males who don't look like us. But the odds of you getting work out of males who do look like you is close to none. And at this point in our existence, when it's close to none, we have to live as if it is none. We have to live as if it is none. We have to make up our minds that there will be no support from any male that looks like you. My daughter was just now, she comes home and I'm listening to her talk, and I'm like, how the fuck does my baby accept this? And she's talking about a friend, but then I thought, how the fuck does this little girl accept this? And her friend is on speakerphone. Her friend is on speakerphone with her brother, so they're all inside of their dorm. their apartment, and the friend is on speakerphone with her brother, and she just tells them like, oh, he don't like black girls, right? And that's cool. You know, them little nigglets don't like black girls, and we cool with that, right? And this is a high school student. This is a sweet little thun in high school, right? And he goes on to tell her that he does not like, to tell them that he does not. Now they're listening in, but he's talking to his sister, right? This is his sister. And he tells her that he don't like black girls. They too loud, they ratchet, they, you know, nappy headed hoes, you know, basically. And she goes on to say, well, damn, what you think about me and mommy? And he goes on to say, well, mommy light skinned, right? Now he says this to the girl. The girl is not light skinned. Well, mommy light skinned. so mommy get a free pass. And she's like, so what about me? And he's like, no, you just like the rest of them. And he went on to share with her, and my friends have said that they don't even know you every time they see you because you change your hair all the time. So here they are getting onto her hair. Now this is what he's saying to his sister, right? It used to be a time that a certain black male, and I'll say who it is, because I'm gonna get into this too in the new year. Like the street niggas, like you couldn't mess with their sisters. Like they had sisters, they had cousins, and you couldn't mess with them. Like all the rest of the niggas in the streets, like they knew better than to look at them. Don't say nothing to them. Don't say nothing bad about her. If she got on short shorts, don't look at her ass too long. Like don't play about my sister. So here this little, we have to recircle the word that I want to say because niggas ain't it no more, right? So here go this little nigga talking about, oh, well, my friends even talk about you, basically. Like, sister, I don't fuck with you and I don't give a fuck about you. And I care about mommy a little bit because mommy's light skinned. But yeah, I even let my homeboys talk about you. Like me and my homeboys talk about you. And I'm saying it used to be a time where that was unheard of. Like, what the fuck? You're not gonna talk about my sister. Like, don't say nothing about my sister. Like, keep my sister out of your mouth. But this little nigga is just sitting around with his friends, letting his friends talk about his sister like this. So I asked my daughter, like, what do you think? And she says, oh, well, he was talking, that's their relationship. And I said, well, she lighter than you. She lighter than you, so what do you think about you? And, my daughter, of course, is unfathomable, so she brushes it off. And I said, well, what did the friend think? Right? Because this is what he's saying his own sister. Right? So what did she think? And she's like, oh, that's just how their relationship is. I'm just like, this shit is unbelievable. This shit is unbelievable. This is a 21-year-old girl with a teenage brother that then already just said, basically, bitch, fuck you. I don't give a fuck about you. If any harm comes to you in this realm, I'm not doing shit about it. I'm going to let my own homeboys harm you with their word, if it's just spewing words. But basically, she can know if that homeboy went to fuck her up, her own brother ain't going to do nothing to protect her. And this is how we exist as black women. I remember sharing, and I shared it on Clubhouse when I asked my own brother, if you had to die or I got raped, which would it be? And he looked me right in my face like, you could live after rape. Like, this is not the standard that the rest of the males on earth live by. And these are the males that we are connected to. It's unfathomable. We have to accept the unfathomable. And there is no other way to accept these kinds of things besides being true alchemists. Like, to be a true alchemist and to take, as the good book says, what they meant for your bad and force it to be for your good. And that's just what black males, when we talk about the black community in itself. And, when we talk about the black community in itself and how harmful it is to black women and girls, like, it's just unheard of. Like, it's truly unheard of the ways in which this community exists. And when we go on to talk about, and we'll get deeper into these conversations in the new year, but when we go on and talk about how all males are the same, and this whole conversation that's going on in that all males are the same, let us all women get together and fight the patriarchy together. I'm looking at white women like, bitch, your patriarchy is an actual patriarchy. Bitch, you are you okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have found some protection in this patriarchy where the quote good men realized that it was too many bad men, and as a result he has set some protections for you, some protections that we get to live under, thankfully. Right? Thankfully, we get to live under some of these protections that the white male patriarchs have set in this country. And as a result, these niggas not fled out, busting us over our head, dragging us in the alleys. And actually, they are. Like, how we exist as a black women is just... we must accept it, but it's going to be a hard accept. And I think that the only way that we really begin to truly accept it is if you are in community with black women who are honest about this is how we exist. And not only is this how we exist, it's unfathomable. And some days when I wake up, sis, it's hurtful. Right? Some days when life knocks me on my ass and there is nothing to fall back on, there's nothing to fall back on. There's no community. There's no collective support in males. And on top of all of this, we are choosing not to form sisterhoods and bonds that are larger than, internet shit. Like, it's nothing to fall back on, sis. It's hurtful. Actually, on top of everything else, it's... On top of every other feeling that I feel hurt, and I feel pained, and I feel hurt and pain. That's how I feel. And I want to be honest about it. Just a couple of days in one of my private calls with some of my ladies, we're all in the moment just talking about how black women as a collective exist, because that to be on the internet talking is all great and trying to raise awareness, but at some point black women got to do something, right? So as we're together and we're trying to figure out how to do something, and we're just talking about the collective existence, and not us personally, although us personally too, but us personally, but just the collective existence of black women. We're going on about it, and we're just getting this overall feeling of hopelessness. It's me and other ladies on the call, and we're just going on. Everybody's just throwing in, listen, this is what the fuck is happening, and then on top of this is this, and then on top of this is this, and it's just like, what the fuck do we do? What the fuck do we do? And it's just this overwhelming feeling of hopelessness in that moment. And at this moment, I had my niece, and I look over her. She is 5 years old, and she's 5 years old. So here's this feeling of hopelessness covering us. Like, ain't shit we can do. Like, let us live our own individual lives as black women, and let our 70+ hurry up and come and go, so we can just transition the fuck up out of this miserable fucking existence, right? And this is how a lot of black women are feeling, right? If you hit on over the RWS channel right now, that's how the fuck black women are feeling, okay? So in the moment, I look over, Goddess is who she is. And I just looked over at my niece. And here she is with a coloring book, not coloring, got her toes in her mouth, trying to bite her toenail. Just as carefree as she wants to be. Just as carefree, not giving a fuck. The weight of the world is not on her back. And in her is a hope that somehow... or not even a hope, is an expectation that somehow some black woman is going to give a fuck enough about her to do something about it now.
Black women, you can be just as carefree as that 5-year-old baby. You don't have to have a care in the world either for how society feels about you, or how black males on YouTube and in society now are turning against you, and who have been declared war against you since before Kevin Samuels, with people like Sergeant Willie Pete, right? So you have the understanding, you have the knowledge of everything you need to sustain you and to put you in not only the head space, but in the actual acts in life to Stop allowing these people to hurt you, both emotionally and physically, right? And psychologically. Like that 5-year-old baby who is sitting wherever she's sitting and biting her toenails because that's what's important to her at the time. What needs to be important to you is building up your relationships with other Black women who are the only ones in the Black community who can hold you down, which is why I have the biggest problem with any content creator, especially Black women, coming onto YouTube and trying to put a wedge between the relationships of Black women, moms and daughters and moms. When people do that, it is to take away your support. It is to take away your, I guess, like safety net. Because when you fall, you have no one to go to. You have no one to catch you, no one to be concerned with you. When you're out here worshiping Black males, doing everything you can to want to be in relationships with them, turning the other cheek to the fact that they're beating up Black women that you know, harming little Black girls that are in your home or outside of your home, the fact that you choose not to call the police and weaponize the police and every other governmental agency out here that the white man has created to benefit yourself is your choice that you should not be making. But the choice that you should be making to use those things, to utilize it against people who are abusing you, down-talking you, hating you, and taking your life by Black femicide, and taking your children's life by child homicide. Black women, it's easier than you think to just lean on your sister the way you know you always were able to. Nothing has changed. Even with all this great push for all of this Black women hate and division, and you younger women wanting to identify with this categorization created by white racist people to initiate and to build and to make bigger the divide and conquer amongst us as a group of women, with calling ourselves millennials and generation. I don't even know the terms because I don't accept any of that stuff, because I understand it for what it is. It is a mechanism being used to keep you impoverished and to keep you in a permanent underclass, because once you adapt the mindset of us versus them within your own subgroup, you destroy yourself from within. However, you could save it. You just decide today, this minute, tonight, tomorrow, this afternoon, yesterday, the day before. You just decide that the only thing in this life that's going to be important to me is being my sister's keeper, living a life where I feel fulfilled. And I'm not living a life where I'm out here, get down off my couch and go away. That I'm not out here, sorry about that, y'all. I'm not out here living my life because I'm desperate for a relationship, or I'm desperate to have some guy's affection, attention, and time. When you stop making that type of shit a priority and understanding that you need to move through life using men as whatever they're there for at the moment. If they're only there for sex, fine. Don't lose your mind to them. Don't lose your heart to them. Don't let them manipulate you. Don't let them live with you. Don't have children with them if you're not interested in really having a long-term commitment. And if you are, all you got to do is take your time getting to know this person. Have the hard conversations. And I'm not talking about Black males, anyone else but Black males. Have the hard conversations. Have the race relation conversations. Then you truly know where this person's weaknesses are and strengths, where they're going to give you the hard time and when they're going to be easy. And once you get past all that, excuse me, You'll be able to gauge what you want to do in life. But what I want to stress is, don't make your womanhood be about, I have no validation, I have no worth, I have no purpose, unless I believe the conditioning that has been taught to me through religion, through society, and through all of this black male ignorant chatter and dehumanization of women on YouTube about what your role is in life. Your role is to be happy. Your role is to recognize the beauty and the love and the joy in every other black woman, so you can experience black joy. Because no one else on this earth is ever going to be able to understand what you truly go through, besides somebody who looks like me, because they have more than likely gone through everything you've gone through as well. Even a person like me who has an education, has independence, and I cannot stress education and independence enough. When you have those two things, you don't have to be the richest person in the world or the poorest person in the world, but you have something that no one can dominate, no one can control, no one can manipulate into using you, and no one could twist into trying to hurt you and make you feel like you're nothing without them. When you have those two things, education, right, and independence, you're able to be educated enough, self-taught enough, life experienced enough to see a person coming who means you no good. You see that black male coming who's only trying to use you for whatever they can get from you, only trying to waste your life, when you could be out here with your girls who truly have your back. And you gotta, make sure that when you live this life, you are living this life with women that have the same commitment and the same valor that you have when it comes to sisterhood. Women who will give you a quarter out of the last 50 cents they got. A woman who's going to break bread with you when it's the last piece she got. Somebody that's going to come through when nobody else will come through. These are the things that you work towards. You work to build up. You work for the future of. So that never would any content creator or any black woman in real life, known to you or unknown to you, would ever have to say out of their mouths what Ocean of Daughters mentioned or hinted upon, that there's so many black women out here so tired with being beat up by life and enduring all the hardships of life that they just want the shit to be over. That's how they want you to be. That's how they need you to be. Not just black males, but all of society. Because the way you should be is to have the mindset that you have for worshiping these black males, but turn that around and redirect that to the love and worship of black women and other black women just like you. So that when we have 3 black women running for the Carolinas Senate, both individual Senate and state Senate, they should win without a shadow of a doubt. And black women, no matter where you live, you should be outside with your picket signs. And if you can't do that, you should have your paper and your pen, writing to your representative in groups of black women, petitions of black women. We black women want this. We black women are demanding this to make our lives better. That's how you get the attention of society. That's how you get political power. That's how you get empowered sisterhood. So no women are out here feeling like, I can't wait to die because I'm just so tired of all this shit I gotta live through and live with. You could be like that 5-year-old little girl biting her toenails and not having a care in the world. Only if you decide that that's what you want to do. Because it is entirely up to you. Like, we all have our issues with other women, because me, myself, within my own family, I have them with mine. It's understandable. No one is attached to your hip where they have to agree with every fucking thing you say. And just because somebody doesn't agree with you doesn't mean they have this overwhelming hatred and, level of they despise you going on. It's just the fact that they don't agree with what you have fucking said. It's as simple as that. I'll use myself as an example. I know many of you have seen the idiotic video that nosy neighbor lady did recently, complaining about me and my opinion, which I'm entitled to, as well as everybody else, right? And what tends to happen is that those women who have such vitriol and attack for other women, when you simply either try to correct them or not even correct them, you add additional information to what they're talking about in case they didn't know it or neglected to mention it, they go off the handle, they lose their minds, because ultimately deep inside, they don't like themselves and they don't like other black women. And that is something that you could literally change around with as simple as having some patience, understanding, and a fucking conversation to clear the air. And that is called emotional intelligence. If a lot of us did more of that and less of the tearing down of each other and trying to make it seem like we're not allowed to disagree with each other, but always have to be a vacuum for each other, a lot of this would go away. But ultimately, it comes down to you personally, right? You have to have enough love of self and love of life in order to live the life you want to have. And you have to have the sense enough, the ability to understand that whenever you idolize and put a male, especially a black male, in your life as the ultimate goal or the ultimate satisfaction or happiness, you're going to always be miserable. So once you get to the point where you can live your life happy as fuck with just your girls and other black women, or just yourself or you and your family, and you're not making black males a priority, and you're not worrying about the ratio of black women who are not married or who are single mothers in comparison to white women, Hispanics, and others, when you don't give a fuck about that, like I don't, you win. Because no one can burden you with all types of freaking psychological games that they're used to playing with us, to tear us down, to hurt us, to make us feel like we're less than human, and therefore make us bow to their will. This is what all this shit is about. This is the reason why you got every type of black male on YouTube trying to blame and shame black women into submission to black males, even Dr. Umar, who are unworthy of you, do not deserve you. You have to go back to the mindset of being independent and overly conceited. That's the only way you're going to get any change in this life, and the only way we're going to build a sisterhood and you build your self-confidence from the inside out, to understand that we only need each other. If we need to live together to get bills paid, we need to live together to save money, to buy a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bedroom home with 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever many bathrooms. You have to do that within sisterhood. The way society's going today is that it wants us to be poor and lack in every category of life. And we will be that way as long as we keep hating other black women and loving on black males and thinking that we only need black males to survive, and get us where we're supposed to be in life. That's not what it is. We are women who come from a matriarch ancestry and mentality. We know how to get shit done. And you don't sit around waiting for other people like black males to help you or come save you or make you feel like because you got a guy, now you better than the next one, when all that does is defeat the common goal, which is to get all black women to the point where they need no one but themselves or another black woman to help them out in life, so that we begin to stand tall, stand up, and never have thoughts of taking our lives or feeling like our life has no purpose in this world. And like what the Creator said, we're feeling like the majority of the women on Matrix Exposes lives. None of those sisters should be feeling like that. This is a beautiful world outside. Very beautiful. With lots of things to offer you. If only you get your education and get your independence. With those two things, your money will flow abundantly. And if you haven't figured it out by now, America works by the amount of money in your pocket. So, if you can't do it 100% by yourself, then you and another sister do it 50-50 and make that shit 100% phenomenally elevating, rewarding, satisfying, and the beauty of life that you're supposed to be living out here. Instead of getting your ass beat inside a home with some dude that you're taking care of, who's going to eventually kill you and hurt your children the same. You don't need to do it. In the Creator story, she told you how the rhetoric of these black males, black women hate speech online and in society, and how they socialize each other in all of their social settings. How these young boys are hating every black woman they come in contact with, even the ones who give them life. So when you have a group of black males like that, they are a lost cause. You must throw them away. Throw them completely away, because they mean you and no other black woman any good. Do not continue to let them separate us by age, color, features, hair, body type, employment type, education, or any other factor. We are black women who are supposed to take care of one another and not ever let no fucking dusty black male come between us. Please remember that. Please. Please, black women, educate yourself. Most of the things that you need are free online. Go to LinkedIn/training. Get all of that information that you can. Go to Coursera.com. Sign up for free certifications and paid certifications to put you into a higher paying salary range. Do the same thing with Google Classroom or Google certificates. It's not hard, black women. Just get in there, do it. Whatever state you live in, take the jobs. Take the test for the jobs for the city and state and federal that you live in. Apply for the jobs that make the most money, or start out low and work your way up to the highest job to change your lifestyle. Let all of these bums in your life get out of your life, and you grab a hold to your life and get everything you need. Get the fancy clothes, get your hair done, take the trips, get the nice apartment, the house you always wanted, the car you want to drive, and most importantly, black women, the money in the bank that you need. I have told you about this more than enough times. Google online, high yield saving accounts. Pick the one that's best for you, and every day put whatever it is you can afford, $5 to $25 a day. Make sure you do it. Do not forget. Every little bit counts. And because it is a high yield interest saving account, the money you put in it, don't take it out though. Just put it in and save it. It will accumulate a higher interest. And by the end of the year, you will be surprised at the amount of money you save. In addition to that, Google online retirement accounts that you pay into yourself, like TIAA and other things like ING Direct. Just type in retirement accounts, right? Individual retirement accounts. Pay into them. Do what you could do every month and just leave that alone. By the time you retire, or by the time you become an old woman and you go to pick up your Social Security, you will have enough cushion to live comfortably. Also know this, as you get older in life and you're working jobs, try to work jobs that give you the most money, because that adds to the credits of your Social Security. By doing that, when you go to retire and get your Social Security, you will have the highest payment of Social Security available. These are the things you got to do. For my women that want to be first-time home buyers of any age, check out the creator Shahida Hill. I have posted her more than enough times on my community page. She is a black woman from Atlanta who is from New York by way, well, how do you do it? How do you say it? From Atlanta by way of New York, because she's from New York first. Went to Atlanta. She killed the game of real estate. Now she has an electronic book online you could purchase for only $100, right? Where if you decide to purchase a home, she will literally walk you through every step so that you are not taken advantage of. In addition to her open and free information that she provides on YouTube, you have no excuse to live the life you want. The only thing you have to do is change that mentality. Stop worrying about guys and dudes of any kind. Chase that fucking money, live your life, and develop your relationships with your sisters the way you had it before the 2000s came in and turned everybody's fucking heads around and had everybody hating on each other and not wanting to be around each other. Black women is real simple. You could be like that 5-year-old little girl, carefree as you want to be. It's a choice that you make in here. To look at your other black sisters and say, that could be me. And live your life according to that and care about her. Deal with her with extreme tenderness, the way she is supposed to deal with you. And if you don't get that, you work on that, but you don't never give up on that. That is what you got to do. Stop listening to Dr. Umar. For those of you that are black male worshipers, stop thinking that your life is not all that it can be, because you're not like the white women, the Hispanic, Asian, or other, where they get married out of high school, college, and etc. Those bitches got to do that, because the majority of them don't have much of a life when you look at their lives. Okay? You, however, you have all the creativity in the world, all of the divine goddess in you with everything you do. So much so that the entire world copies you. People put you on as a costume because they can't fucking get enough of you. Because you are that special, that dynamic, that impressive, that brilliant. So instead of you sitting there worrying about what you ain't got and thinking you need to have this instead of that, you already got everything you need. All you got to do is embrace it, begin to love it, and dismiss and reject and push away every fucking black male that tells you you ain't got it. You don't need them. All you need is your sister, who's always going to be there for you to have a shoulder to cry on. Always be there to pick you up when you ain't got a ride. Always be there for you whenever you need whatever it is, even down to a goddamn Kotex or a maxi pad. She got you. So why are you worrying about fucking fools that can't do a goddamn thing for you? Why are you worrying about that? They are your enemy. They are your enemy. When you have little teenage boys in high school, and some younger than that, talking to their sisters the way that this creator explained in that story, there's something really wrong with them that you can't penetrate, you can't change, and you can't correct. So the only thing you can do is get away from them. Period. straight up and down. She's absolutely right. I lived through those times where, and still is, because that's just the way my brothers are. They would kill somebody for me. They will hurt them. My sons would do the same, and any other of my male relatives. So to hear a young woman say that her own brother despises her because of what? Because some dusty motherfucker told him that he should, and that he ain't gonna be nobody in life, and that the whole world hates him while they favor you. If they're that fucking stupid to believe that, let them get what they deserve, because the white man is coming for them soon, because there are too many black women's bodies racking up by way of black femicide that this country is not going to tolerate. So black women, once again, is your job to step the fuck aside. Let these white people handle them the way they supposed to. And you weaponize that white man and all of his governmental things against these destructive, black woman hating, self-proclaimed black women executioners the way that they need to be weaponized against them. Because the shit has to stop. And if you don't stand up and fight vigorously for what black women need in life, get out in these streets and demand it the same way you would show up for a Black Lives Matter or some black male that got shot by the cops, you need to check yourself and you need to change your mentality, because that's what you need to do to get the life you want. Nothing more, nothing fucking less. Advocation for self. Advocation for the collective of black women. Not black women hate, and I don't like her because she thinks she cute, or who this bitch thinks she is. We don't need no more of that shit. We need, are you all right, sister? How can I help? That's what we need. Y'all go on thinking that. Think on that, please. Work on that, please. And let's start living life and being happy and getting that black girl joy, that black woman joy that we used to have when we was the girls from around the way, and all the rest of that stuff from back in the 90s and everything before the 2000s kicked in. Stop dividing ourselves up into little generational armies of war. We don't need to be generation anything. We don't need to be any of that shit white people feed us mentally and psychologically to breed us versus them, and I hate her and she hurts me, she hates me. We don't need to do that with each other. All we need to do is see what the sister lacks, what she needs, give her whatever we can, and work on the communication and the relationship in between all that. That's what we need to do. And stop fucking with these dudes who have already told you time and time again they don't like you, they don't want you. There's no shame in that. There should be definitely no fucking hurt in that, because I was always taught you don't want nothing that don't want you. And on that note, I'm going to go because I still got work to do from home. But I want you black women to hold your head up high. Love yourselves. Give yourselves all types of beautiful sayings every day, acknowledgments every day. Treat yourself to wonderful things every day. And don't let nobody kill your fucking joy, break your spirit, or take your soul. You are way more valuable than you know. Stop letting these people treat you like you ain't worth nothing. Because you're worth the entire fucking universe. Because God says so. You are the first thing to ever exist in all of humanity. Beautiful and perfect. And made to be whatever you're supposed to be. So please, get out of the false bags of self-pity. Get out of the self-hate, self-shame, depression, and all this other shit that we do to ourselves mentally. Be happy. Be happy, be joyful, be alive. And don't let none of these people kill your joy, your life, or your happiness, because they're not worth it. They're not. I'm finally getting ready to plan that trip to England with my girl. This is what we do for each other when we hurt. I've known Holly since she was 13 years old, and I was 13 as well. We have been through everything in life together. When some of our other girls have passed away or have developed autoimmune diseases to the point where their bodies don't even function no more, they can't walk, they can't talk. We even have a sister that used to be one of our girls in our posse who had a major stroke and a heart attack over dealing with a fucking dusty, disgusting relationship that we tried for years to get her out of. Please don't let that be you. Be like me and Holly. Happy, no matter what the fuck life does to you. I'm getting older every day, but I love every life towards every step that I take to my grave. You understand me? I want you to be the same way. Don't you let no burdens in this life hold you down, because they can't unless you allow them to. Love you all, Black women. Take more time, be more patient, be more loving and understanding with your sisters, because clearly in today's world, society, and the time, we are really, truly all we got. Have a good day. Be well.